Let me tell you something that most men never figure out, and it costs them the woman they actually wanted to keep. You can buy her flowers every single week. You can take her to the fanciest restaurant in the city. You can post the perfect photo of the two of you with the perfect caption, and she can still feel completely invisible next to you because attraction was never about the money you spend or the moves you make. It's about whether she feels seen, really seen. The kind of scene that makes her chest go warm and her guard come down, even if just for a second. And the tool for that, it's not expensive, it's not complicated, it's words, the right words, said the right way, at the right moment. Stay with me, because what I'm about to walk you through isn't some cheesy pickup line list you forget in 5 minutes. This is real psychology. This is how human beings actually fall for each other. And by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly why some men make women feel weak in the knees with a single sentence, while other men can talk for an hour and leave her feeling nothing at all. Let's start with the truth nobody tells you. Most compliments fail. They fail because they're lazy. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. Nice smile. She's heard those 1,000 times from 1,000 men since she was a teenager. Those words don't land anymore. They bounce right off her, like rain on a windshield. Not because she doesn't want to feel beautiful, but because generic praise doesn't prove you actually looked at her. It just proves you have eyes. Women aren't looking for men who notice that they exist. They're looking for men who notice them, specifically the parts that make her different from every other woman in the room. That's the whole secret hiding in plain sight. Once you understand that, everything changes. So let's talk about the kind of compliments that actually work, the ones that create a spark instead of a shrug. The first one is what I call the specific detail compliment. Instead of saying she's beautiful, you notice one particular thing. Maybe it's the way her eyes light up when she talks about something she loves. Maybe it's the tiny gap in her teeth when she smiles wide, or the way she tucks her hair behind her ear right before she says something she's nervous about. You say it out loud, gently, like you just can't help but notice. Something like, I love how your whole face changes when you talk about your work. You don't even realize you're doing it, but I can't stop watching. Do you see what that does? It tells her three things at once. It tells her you were actually paying attention, not just waiting for your turn to talk. It tells her that you see something unique in her, something she might not even notice about herself. And it tells her that she affects you, that watching her genuinely does something to you. That combination, being truly seen, plus knowing she has an effect on someone, that's a psychological 1-2 punch. Behavioral scientists call this the uniqueness principle. Our brains crave confirmation that we stand out, that we are not interchangeable. When a compliment proves you notice something only she does, her brain tags you as different from every other man who ever spoke to her. The second compliment that works on a deep level is what I call the character compliment. This is where so many men get it backwards. They spend all their energy praising her looks, when what actually builds long-term attraction is praising who she is underneath the looks. Try this. The way you handled that situation earlier, staying calm while everyone else panicked, that's rare. Not many people have that in them. Or, you're one of the kindest people I've met, and it's not the fake kind, it's the kind where you actually mean it. This works because of something psychologists call the need for competence and worth. Every human being, deep down, wants to know their effort and their character matter, not just their appearance, which they didn't even choose. When you compliment her character, her intelligence, her resilience, her humor, her kindness, you're telling her that you see the substance behind the surface. That hits different because most men skip straight past it. She starts to feel like you actually know her, not just her body, not just her face, but her. And here's something important. Health educational truth wrapped inside romance. Self-esteem research consistently shows that people bond faster and stay bonded longer with those who make them feel valued for internal qualities rather than external ones. Looks fade, moods shift, but when someone loves your character, that feels permanent, that feels safe. And safety is the real gateway to real intimacy, physical and emotional, both. Now let's talk about the third one, And this one is powerful because it's rare, the growth compliment. This is where you notice how she's changed, how she's grown, how far she's come. I know how hard you work to get where you are, and it shows. You should be proud of yourself because I sure am proud of you. This lands hard because most people in her life only comment on the present moment. Nobody stops to acknowledge the effort, the struggle, the version of her from a year ago who fought to become who she is today. When you do that, you're not just complimenting her, you're witnessing her journey. And being witnessed, truly witnessed in your growth, creates an emotional bond that a stranger complimenting your outfit could never touch. The fourth compliment lives in the body, but not the way most men think. This is the compliment of presence, not appearance. Instead of saying, "You look hot," which reduces her to an object in the moment, try noticing the energy she brings into a room. Every time you walk in somewhere, the whole room shifts. People just gravitate toward you, and I don't think you even notice you're doing it. This is different from a typical physical compliment because it's not about her body being looked at, it's about her presence being felt. It flatters her magnetism, her aura, her impact on the world around her, rather than reducing her to a physical object to be rated. Women can feel the difference instantly between a compliment that objectifies and a compliment that honors. One makes her feel small and stared at. The other makes her feel powerful and admired. Choose the second one every single time and watch how she leans in instead of pulling away. Let's move to the fifth compliment, and this one is deeply tied to intimacy, the safety compliment. This is where you tell her directly that she makes you feel calm, grounded, at peace. I don't know what it is, but when I'm around you, everything just feels easier, like I can actually breathe. This might be the single most underrated compliment in existence because it flips the entire dynamic. Most compliments are about her. This one is about the effect she has on you. And there's something deeply intimate about admitting vulnerability like that. You're telling her that she has power over your emotional state in a good way, and women are wired to value being a source of comfort and stability for someone they care about. Attachment psychology tells us that humans bond most deeply with those who make them feel emotionally safe. When you tell her she creates that safety in you, you're inviting her into the most intimate room of your emotional house. That kind of vulnerability, done with confidence rather than neediness, builds trust fast. Now, here comes the sixth compliment, the one most men are terrified to give because it requires real observation, the compliment on her mind. Tell her when something she says genuinely surprises you or teaches you something. I didn't expect you to say that, but honestly, you just made me think about it completely differently. That's impressive. Intelligence compliments hit differently because so many women feel like they're only valued for their appearance in daily life, at work, on the street, in relationships. When a man makes it clear he values her mind, her opinions, her perspective, it separates you instantly from 90% of the men she's ever interacted with. She starts to associate you with feeling respected on a level most people never bother to reach. The seventh compliment lives in touch, in the sensual, gentle space between friendship and desire, but delivered with warmth rather than crudeness. This is where tone matters more than words. Something like low voice, slow pace, eye contact held a beat longer than usual. You have no idea what you do to me when you look at me like that. This works because it's honest desire, spoken with vulnerability instead of aggression. It's not a demand, it's not crude, it's an admission. And admissions of desire, spoken gently, create a charge in the air that no forced compliment ever could. The key here, and this matters for both attraction and respect, is that this only works when trust has already been built through the compliments before it. Desire spoken too early, before emotional safety exists, feels hollow or even uncomfortable. But desire spoken after she already feels seen, valued, and safe, that becomes one of the most magnetic things a man can say. Sensuality rooted in respect will always outlast sensuality rooted in pressure. And the eighth compliment, the one that ties everything together, the future compliment. This is where you show her that you don't just enjoy this moment, you can picture more moments like it. I really like how easy this is with you. I could get used to conversations like this. Or simply, I like where this is going. This compliment works because human brains are wired to crave certainty in uncertain situations, especially in early attraction, when everything feels fragile and unclear. When you gently signal that you see a future, even a small one, even just more time spent together, it calms the nervous system. It tells her this isn't a one-time thing you're saying just to get somewhere. It's genuine interest that extends beyond right now. Here's what ties all 8 of these together, and this is the part most men completely miss. None of these compliments work if they're fake. You cannot script sincerity. The psychology behind all of this only works because it's built on actual attention, actual presence, actual care. If you say these words while thinking about 10 other women or trying to check a box on some seduction technique, she will feel it. Women read incongruence incredibly well. It's practically an evolutionary survival skill. Mismatched tone, empty eyes, rehearsed delivery, all of it gives you away instantly. So the real secret isn't memorizing 8 lines. It's training yourself to actually notice her, her voice, her habits, her strength, her softness, the way she carries herself when she thinks nobody's watching. The compliments are just the delivery system. The substance underneath has to be real attention and real appreciation, or the whole thing falls apart the moment she looks you in the eye. There's also something worth understanding about timing. Compliments spaced out over time drop naturally into conversation rather than fired off in a rapid list, create a much stronger effect than a barrage all at once. Our brains respond to unpredictability. If she never knows when the next genuine compliment is coming, but she knows it will feel real when it does, she stays engaged, she stays curious, she keeps leaning toward you rather than settling into comfortable indifference. And one more piece of this puzzle that most men skip entirely: your own confidence has to hold the weight of these words. A compliment delivered with shaky, needy energy can undercut even the most beautifully worded sentence. But the same words, delivered calmly, warmly, without desperation, without waiting anxiously for her reaction, land like gravity. Confidence isn't arrogance, it's simply believing that what you're saying is true and not needing her to instantly validate it back to you. Say it, mean it, and let it land. Don't chase her reaction like a nervous performer waiting for applause. Think about the woman in your life right now, or the one you're hoping to build something with. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you told her something specific about who she is, rather than something generic about how she looks? When was the last time you let her know the effect she has on your emotional state, instead of just complimenting her outfit? When was the last time you made her feel like her mind, not just her body, genuinely fascinated you? If it's been a while, that's not a failure, that's an opportunity. Because the beautiful thing about all of this is that it costs nothing but attention and honesty. You don't need charm you weren't born with. You don't need to be the funniest man in the room or the richest man at the table. You need to slow down long enough to actually see her and then have the courage to say what you see out loud. That's it. That's the whole secret behind every man who ever made a woman feel like the only person in the room. Not tricks, not manipulation, just attention, sincerity, and the willingness to say the quiet, true thing instead of the safe, empty thing. So the next time you're with her, don't reach for the easy compliment. Reach for the real one. Notice something only you would notice. Say the thing that shows her you've actually been paying attention this whole time. Let her feel, even just for a moment, completely and specifically seen. Because that feeling, more than any gift, any plan, any grand gesture, is what makes a woman fall, and more importantly, what makes her want to stay.